Hello friends, my name is Shayla and today I am here to talk about a little something different on my channel. So normally I primarily talk about books. I'm sure a lot of people who will click on this video will end up being people who aren't regular subscribers. So essentially this video is kind of about how to introduce your wife to video games. There are a lot, the gaming industry is dominated by men, but more and more women are getting into video gaming, and it's really a fun arena to play in. So I'm just going to give you guys a few tips and tricks on things that my husband did to introduce me to video games. First, a little bit of history on me. I'm an only girl. I only had brothers, and so I always wanted to play video games with my brothers. And the thing with them is they would get frustrated watching me struggle to do something, and they would just take the controller out of my hand and try to do it for me rather than letting me struggle through it and learn it on my own just like they did. So the first tip I would have is, well, one of the tips that I have is to let your wife figure it out. We all do things a little bit differently, and we all learn a little bit differently. So how you learn to play video games by maybe somebody showing you exactly what they did by taking the controller and manually doing it for you may not work for your spouse. So definitely keep their feelings into consideration, because I always felt like they just didn't want me to play when they would take the controller out of my hands. Like, especially if I didn't ask them to. Occasionally now, like, I'll get so frustrated to a point where I want to give up on the game, and I'll holler at my husband because he's usually upstairs and we game downstairs primarily. And I will just ask him to help me through one little thing, either help me figure it out through the mini-map or whatever, or like battle sequence, just help me figure out why it isn't working quite right for me. And sometimes it's just an adjustment in the settings and something simple that somebody who games a lot does naturally when they start a game, but for somebody who's new, over time they learn that they're not as comfortable with certain things. And so just be patient and help them out in that way, and kind of let them struggle through it and learn what they like when they game, because they may not like what you like. Does that make sense? Next step would be to find a game that piques her interest. So what my husband did when I first expressed an interest in playing more video games with him especially, is he did some research and found some games that he thought I would like based on my reading tastes, my TV tastes, my movie tastes, all those kind of things. So he did some research, and then he would show me the trailers for said video games. And some of them I was like, I don't think so, and others of them I'm like, maybe. And then what we would do is we would figure out the essential game mechanics to figure out if it is something that I could probably handle. I've learned I do better with hack and slash style games as opposed to more complicated battle systems. So I like hack and slash, and turn-based battle systems tend to work really well for me personally, because I get too frustrated when there's camera control and like combinations for a battle. It just gets overwhelming for me. So what I like are simple battle systems, because that's not primarily why I'll start a video game. I like something about the game. A game that I've been playing recently is Ni no Kuni 2. I've really been enjoying my gameplay of that, and there's a lot going on with that. I do like the battle system, but primarily I like that the side quests are given to you in steps, like to where your level is suited for the side quest, and so you're not overwhelmed with side quests, and you only pick them up as you want them. You can just let them sit as long as you want. You don't have to do many of the side quests at all. I mean, some of them are really essential to get important pieces for the game later, but essentially you don't have to do all of the side quests to complete the story of the game. And that ended up being something really nice for me, because then I could kind of pick and choose when I wanted to do the side quests. Another aspect that I really like about that game is that kingdom building aspect. So you collect citizens and build a kingdom, and you have all these facilities to kind of gather resources for your kingdom, to build equipment, armor, all of that kind of stuff to make your battle experience even easier. And I really liked that aspect of the game. I liked going on the side quests specifically to get new citizens. I really enjoyed that play factor in the game a lot. And they have that throughout the whole storyline. Like, you can't even get certain citizens until the game is completed. It was really, really fun. And I really just enjoyed the gameplay specifically in that one. Also, another thing to do is to share console time with her. So when it comes to console time, me and my husband have kind of figured out a way to make that work that works for us, because we both work full time. I work 6 days a week, he works 5 days a week, and finding time for both of us to play on the game console is really hard. So what we figured out is one of us would play before dinner and then the other one would play after dinner. And that seemed to work really well for us in the evenings. We don't have children yet, and so we don't have children to manage. Another thing that my husband's always great about is helping out around the house. So I didn't feel as guilty when I would sit and play for a little bit if he was doing something around the house. So one thing to maybe suggest to your wife is offering to help out around the house a little bit more so that she can have some time to play a video game. And lastly, just be very considerate of her as she plays. Get excited when she's excited about something in the game. Sit and listen, even if it's a game you've already played, and just really enjoy letting your wife explore what video games mean to her. Because I have found that video games are really rewarding. I really enjoy playing them. I've only played a few. We have a PlayStation 4, so I primarily play on the PlayStation 4, but I also have my very own Nintendo DS. I got to pick it out. I picked out the retro Nintendo controller one, and I've played a lot of Pokemon games on that one, which again is a very simple game that I really liked to play. Another suggestion would be to look for a game with a really good storyline. I know a good storyline is always going to make for a better video game for me. I'm not going to be a Halo, Call of Duty kind of girl. That's just not my style of game. I like something with substance and a story, beautiful music. Take some of those fluffy things that you might not consider to be important into consideration for your spouse, because, you know, men and women value different things typically, and so you have to be considerate of the fact that she might enjoy something that's lighter and fluffier than you would typically play. Also, if there's ever a game that you two can play together, that's always really fun. My husband and I, it's been a while since we've played, but we have played Diablo 3 together, and we've really enjoyed our game time playing together. My husband will purposely kind of let me lead into a battle and do as much as I can and kind of hang back a little bit to give me some experience and things, and that's one that we've really enjoyed together. We've not played too long into that one. It's one we've been wanting to get back to. We've just been distracted with other shiny games for the last little while, so anyways, those are just a few little things to consider if you're wanting your wife to play video games, either by herself or with you. And please like and subscribe if you haven't. I do plan on talking about video games more on this channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.